Ukraine fought off a fresh Russian assault on the embattled eastern city of Bakhmut. The Russian Wagner Group's armed forces were effectively targeted by the Ukrainian military during a convert operation that was carried out as he advanced near Bakhmut. Ukraine and Russia have waged a vicious battle for several weeks to control the city, which Moscow frames as key to seizing the prized Bakhmut region. The Donbass city of Bakhmut is seeing heavy fighting for every house and every stairwell as Russian forces press on with attacks on the symbolically Kyiv. City has long been the focus of Russian attacks and has endured months of shelling. Moscow's forces have been unable to declare definitive control over the bombarded city despite reports of gains around Bakhmut following the fall of the nearby town of Sadar. Over the last week, Russian troops have continued to make small advances in encircling Bakhmut. The UK Ministry of Defense said on Sunday Ukraine's military estimated on Thursday that 800 Russian soldiers were killed in the past day, mostly in fighting in the eastern Donetsk region. Ukraine's President Vladimir Zelensky vows to defend Fortress Bakhmut as Russia gears for escalation. President Vladimir Zelensky said that Ukrainians will fight for as long as we can to hold the key eastern city off Bakhmut as Moscow ramps up pressure in the eastern region of Ukraine. Ukraine said Tuesday its forces had fended off Russian assaults on a road outside Bakhmut in the east, thwarting Moscow's attempt to gain control of a crucial supply route. Russian forces have failed to cut off road leading from the town Chase-Off Yard to Bakhmut, which is used for supplying Kyiv's troops. Ukrainian military spokesperson Sergei Cherivati: the Ukrainian army in Bakhmut is supplied with everything necessary. Head to Drying in its daily intelligence update. The ministry suggested the two main roads used by Kyiv's forces around the city are likely now both threatened by direct fire following the Russian advances. The city is increasingly isolated according to the government department after Kremlin-backed Wagner Group force likely captured a Ukrainian supply route to Bakhmut through the nearby town of Seversk on Saturday. An update posted by the Institute for the Study of War's think tank said Russian forces were intensifying attacks on Bakhmut over, pushing through to Donetsk city. Russian military forces reserves and Wagner mercenaries are among the tens of thousands of troops committed to seizing Bakhmut, with significant casualties reported, the said. But Wagner Group head Yevgeny Prigozhin is using the battles around Bakhmut to frame himself as the sole victor in the Bakhmut area, the is said, as he attempts to use the city to maintain his influence. In a statement posted on Telegram, Prigozhin said he was clarifying the situation, but responded that Ukraine's armed force known as the APU are not retreating anywhere. They are fighting to the last, he said, adding that there are fierce battles for every street, every house, every stairwell in the northern parts of Bakhmut. It's nice that the media want the armed forces to retreat, Prigozhin continued, but this does not happen either in the northern quarters or in the south or in the east. Russian military bloggers, including the account Warganzo, had claimed Wagner forces were in control of Bakhmut and the liberation of the city is not fair. On Friday, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky said that Ukraine soldiers will fight for as long as they can in city. Nobody will give away Bakhmut, he said. We consider Bakhmut our fortress. On Saturday evening, Zelensky then said the situation was very difficult in Bakhmut as well as in the neighboring town of Volodar. The invader is putting more and more of his forces into breaking down our defenses, he said. A video circulating online appears to show Ukrainian fighters leaving Bakhmut, with one calling the embattled city hilt. Here is hell, everything is burning here, according to a caption attached to the video on Twitter. In half an hour 4 were injured today, that's all who remained. The authorities abandoned us. There is hell. A Twitter account related to the War Translated project, which translates material relating to the Ukraine war for English speakers, posted a video of a Ukrainian soldier named as Kainan on Saturday. He also reported continued heavy fighting and artillery fire. On said he felt Bakhmut could become a breaking point for Russian forces, saying the Ukrainian fighters in the city would resist their attacks. Meanwhile, the armed forces of Ukraine stepped up their strikes on Svatovo and Crimea. Despite the fact that the Russian military launched an intensive offensive in the Lymansky direction, forcing the Ukrainian troops to retreat to a distance of about 10 kilometers in some sectors of the front, the armed forces of Ukraine began to more actively strike at the territory of the cities of Svatovo and Crimea using not only cannon artillery but also Mr. systems. This is evidenced by the regular reports of the LPR representation in the JSIC. According to the data presented online over the past weekend in NP's Veduvu was struck at least 6 times by Hamara systems, and the settlement was hit by Hamas. Flint inflicted 4 hits of 15mm Western-style cannon. artillery. Previously the strikes were not so intense, which indicates that the armed forces of Ukraine are trying to win back lost positions, although it is more than likely that they will not be able to go on the counter-offensive. Situation at this Vatovo-Kriminator line remains very difficult since during the long stay of the armed forces of Ukrainian troops directed a large number of fortifications and equipped observation posts that allow them to defend themselves. At the same time, over the past few days Russian troops have managed to seriously push Ukrainian troops away from Crimea. Meanwhile, an infantry fighting vehicle B-3 was torn apart by a powerful explosion of ammunition. Despite the much better security of the B-3 infantry fighting vehicle compared to previous versions, the latter could not withstand a direct hit from an anti-tank missile system, followed by the detonation of the ammunition load. As a result of a strong explosion, the turret of the combat vehicle and elements of its armor was thrown into the air to a height of about 40 meters, which is comparable to the height of a 15-story building. Corresponding video frames were filmed by an unmanned aerial vehicle. The video shows the moment after an anti-tank missile hit an infantry fighting vehicle. As a result of the defeat of the combat vehicle, the latter was damaged. According to sources, the crew and the landing party managed to leave the combat vehicle in a timely manner. However, just a few seconds later a strong explosion thundered on the spot, lifting a multi-10 tower and large armor elements to a height of about 40 meters into the air. Thanks for watching.